Moreno.
Well, thank you for being here, Chairman. Thank you for putting on the hearing. So question to the three league representatives. What are your metrics? You have to have metrics, right, in terms of how many, and you talked about that a little bit in your testimony. What are your metrics in terms of how you see the amount of games accessible? Is that something that you track in terms of being able to make decisions as to what you're doing in terms of, obviously, there's not really free games, just to be crystal clear. There's games that you view with advertising paying for that privilege. But what are I'm curious what your metrics are. Start with you, Mr. Gersh.
Sure. If I understand your question, you're talking about how the games are, the metrics on availability of the games. And I think, you know, what we've looked at is what percentage of the fans in the home television territory can watch the games and how are they available. And, you know, historically, they've been on RSNs, on pay TV distributed platforms. And as I mentioned before, less and less people have been signing up for pay TV. And then on the pay TV systems, they've been either higher tiered or not carried at all. So we've been concerned where we've had, in some cases, you know, only 35% of the fans in our territory could get access to those games. So that's why we took a really strong look at this the past couple of years, and Commissioner Manfred's, you know, view to make the games more accessible, where we now have direct-to-consumer offerings available in 29 territories. So for us, that covers the whole territory. For $20 a month, you can watch.
But I'm talking about that you don't have to pay a subscription, that you can watch the game with ads. What's your current metric, and where has that gone down or has that gone up? Accessibility increased or decreased?
It's actually, again, since I've been involved over the past 2 decades, all the games have been on paid TV. There weren't a lot of freely available broadcast games for Major League Baseball. So it has increased over the past couple of years. And that now a majority of our teams do make at least a package of the games available on free over-the-air TV, you know, whether it's 10 or 20 games, they make those available. And at the national level, you know, we have our World Series and the All-Star Game. Our biggest events are on Fox Broadcasting, which is a freely available channel. And then we've been experimenting with new ways to make games for free. So our partnership with Roku, the games that we put on our Sunday morning, are freely available with no subscription.
So you don't have a target X percentage of games are available without paying subscriptions, and you're trying to get that number to increase?
We do not have a particular metric on that.
Okay. Mr. Koenig?
Thank you, Senator. Yes, as I said, the availability of games on free over-the-air television is very important to us. So on the national level, we have 70, in our new deals that'll start next year, 75 regular season games, and almost, depending on how long the playoff series goes, another 40, 50 games available on free broadcast television, which is the most in NBA history, and second maybe only to the NFL of any league, and it was something that was a real priority in our negotiations. In local television, 3 years ago, there was one team that put its games out on over-the-air television, number of games available on free over-the-air television, a total of 570 games on free over-the-air television locally, which is the most in 20 years in the NBA.
So you're seeing that number go up?
Absolutely.
And you track that and you watch that?
Yes.
Mr. Proper?
So we totally agree with you, Senator Moreno. We are looking very extensively in how we can increase our over-the-air. Now, on a national basis, that's a bit of a partnership where we have our relationships with ABC, for example, and it becomes however many games we can get on with windows we try to. But as Mr. Koenig said, at the local level, it's really increased dramatically with the demise of the RSN business. And what we have seen is we now have 3 teams whose all of their games are available over the air locally. We have others who are very much exploring that, and then that model, and I think others that will adopt it. We've also had teams adopting or trying out the model of making it available for free on the internet. So where they can't get necessarily the over-the-air coverage for all of their games, they're trying to make every game free as an internet product, which is a unique model that's just in its infancy.
Gotcha. In my short time remaining, I'd just ask you, the 3 of you to respond pretty quickly. Actually, the 4 of you to respond really quickly. It seems this is, with technology, an infinitely solvable problem. Because if I'm signed up for a streaming service, I use some sort of identity validation of who I am. Why would you penalize that person and not just make it so that you sign up in one place with that same credential, it allows you to sign up in all of them and allow, for example, Amazon, well, they know too much about me, but they know that I'm a Max subscriber, so they don't charge me for Max also. Why don't you look at solutions like that? Because it seems to me, for you, you want to make this easier for your fans.
So we agree with that. And in fact, if you buy MLB.TV on Amazon, you can authenticate and watch it on our platform.
But not the local piece, though. It should automatically carry across all platforms in every way possible.
I agree with that completely. It's just an issue of rights and getting the other side to do that. At MLB, we've integrated with ESPN and Fox and all our cable distributors so that people can watch on our platform if they subscribe through pay TV. 100% agree with you that more of that should happen.
I'm over time, but let me just say this. My 2 cents. You guys solving this problem and making it more available, easier, and less friction will be dramatically less painful than if this institution decides to give you rules and guardrails. So option 1, you solve it and it's great. Option B, not so great.